All right, let's dive into the fascinating and kind of weird world of the consumer brain. We all make hundreds of choices every single day. What to buy, what to watch, what to wear. But here's the big question. How much of that choice is really ours? We're about to pull back the curtain and peek at the hidden forces that are really calling the shots.
So, get this. Companies pour billions upon billions of dollars into launching new products. They do all the research, all the advertising. And yet, a staggering 8 out of every 10 new products fail. Just poof, gone. That is an insane amount of money and effort, basically just vanishing into thin air.
And that's the central mystery, right? It's what researcher Martin Lindstrom wanted to figure out. If all that traditional marketing and all those focus groups aren't working, what actually makes us pick one brand over another? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is way deeper and stranger than you might think.
For decades, the go-to method for marketers was simple. Just ask people what they want. But here's the problem. We're not very reliable narrators of our own lives. It's not that we're trying to lie. It's just that what we say we want and what we actually do are often two completely different things. Our conscious brain just hasn't gotten the memo from the subconscious one yet.
So, to get to the real truth, Lindstrom and his team turned to this incredible field called neuromarketing. Seriously, think of it like a direct window into the brain. They use high-tech brain scans to see what really grabs our attention, what gets us excited, and what makes us want to pull out our wallets, all without having to ask a single leading question.
And our first major clue from this research is a real shocker. It comes from a study on smokers. We've all seen those graphic, terrifying warning labels on cigarette packs, right? They're obviously there to scare people away from smoking. But what our brains actually do when they see them? Yeah, that was not what anyone expected.
This is where you see that massive disconnect in action. When the smokers were asked, they said all the right things. Oh yeah, absolutely, these warnings are super effective. They really make me want to cut back. But their brain scans? They were telling a completely different story. Those exact same gruesome images were actually making the craving center of their brain light up like a Christmas tree.
So the shocking conclusion was this. The warning labels didn't just fail to stop people from smoking, they were actually encouraging them to light up. The very thing designed to be an anti-marketing tool was, on a subconscious level, one of the best marketing tools the tobacco industry could have asked for. Wild, right? And the culprit here has a name. It's a little part of our brain called the nucleus accumbens. You can basically think of it as the craving spot or the I want it now button. When it gets fired up, it demands satisfaction. And for smokers, those warning labels were pressing that button hard. It's the ultimate proof that what we think we feel and what our brain is actually doing can be polar opposites.
Okay, so let's see how this plays out in a completely different arena. For our next clue, we're heading over to the stage of American Idol. Now, back in its heyday, the show had 3 huge sponsors: Coca-Cola, Singular Wireless, and Ford. They all paid millions. But the question is, did they all get what they paid for?
Well, the brain scan results were just mind-blowing. People had really strong, positive memories of Coke. Singular did okay too, but Ford, oh boy. Their brand recall wasn't just low, it was actually negative. That's right, people remembered less about Ford after watching the show. The company spent $26 million to be forgotten. So what gives? Why the massive difference? It's simple, really. Coke was woven into the very fabric of the show. The red couches, the cups in the judges' hands, it was part of the story. Ford, on the other hand, was just a clunky commercial stuck in the ad break. It wasn't part of the narrative, so our brains just tuned it out. It became invisible. So we've seen some pretty strange consumer behaviors. What's the master key that unlocks all of this? Well, it turns out there's this incredibly powerful system in our brain that's running on autopilot, making us imitate, empathize, and want things. And it's all thanks to something called mirror neurons.
I mean, think about it. You see someone on TV get a paper cut, and you physically cringe, right? Or you see someone yawn, and suddenly you feel one coming on too. That's not just you being nice or empathetic. That's your brain physically mirroring the actions and feelings you're seeing.
These little guys are mirror neurons, and they were discovered almost by accident. Scientists noticed that a monkey's brain fired in the exact same pattern when it reached for a peanut as it did when it just watched a human reach for a peanut. To our brains, on a very deep level, seeing is doing. And once you know about them, you start seeing their effect everywhere. Why did everyone suddenly want an iPod, those cool white headphones? Our mirror neurons saw cool people wearing them and said, hey, I want to be cool too. When you see a mannequin in a great outfit, you subconsciously imagine yourself in it. We are fundamentally wired to imitate, and that wiring drives so much of what we buy.
So let's tie this all together. From cigarette ads that do the opposite of what they claim, to TV ads that make us forget brands, it's pretty clear our subconscious mind is usually the one at the wheel. Our choices are being shaped by these deep, primal forces, like the incredible pull of our mirror neurons.
Now, I know this can sound a little creepy, maybe like we're all just puppets on a string, but actually the big takeaway here is the opposite. It's empowering. The more you understand these hidden forces, your own personal biology, the better you can spot them in the wild. This isn't about being manipulated, it's about gaining awareness.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought. The next time you're out shopping, and you feel that powerful, irresistible urge to buy something, just take a pause for a second and ask yourself, is this me, my rational brain, making a smart choice? Or is it my ancient wiring, my mirror neurons, pulling the strings? The answer might just surprise you.